at least for this session, I am using this virtual lab, MySQL kind of thing. And as usual, let me show the databases friends here. Uh, because this particular database, we cannot create a new database because this is a remote lab. So I'll be allocated with a dedicated database, which is Indium Lab 1. Uh, so just what I'm doing is use Indium Lab 1. Okay, so database changed. Now see these things also I will record friends. Don't worry. This guy is typing some commands and we have never seen these things. Don't worry. Just each and every command. Once that is over, I'll paste in our this OneNote. So just text based and as well as manually also you can see. So don't worry about those kind of syntax and commands, right? And now I'm having certain tables here, guys. So I'm having employee from UK, employee from USA, and I have created some kind of the tables. Let me clear the screen, Control L, and here show tables. Okay, if I'm taking this one and as usual, select star from employee UK. Uh, just I'm having this data for you, and I want to describe uh, this particular data. Now you see, so just observe here before going to launch these kind of some kind of queries on top of this data. If you need, definitely I'll execute this particular code also. Who is Sai Ravan? Yeah. So on time, be on time, friends, because you may miss out which are all the objectives. If you need additional timing, let me know through Slack. That is absolutely fine, friends. No problem. Sir, we can take 5 more minutes or 10 more minutes. Let me know. We are all human beings, right? So later only the manager or company comes. Okay. So no problem. If you are agreeing on a common time, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes excess, because 6 hours sitting, I know. Okay, teaching is simple, but hearing to me continuously is that's what I scoped your voice also in the call. Huh? So no problem, perfectly all right. If you are need some time, maybe 5 or 10 minutes excess compared with the given time, let me know. Okay, I won't deny that. So just will utilize the time in a perfect way. That is only the requirement, right? Okay. So now at the moment you see here, let us understand what is the description of this employee. I'll create the table also in front of you, no problem. But I want to give you some kind of information about the employee. Here we are having the employee ID and the data type integer with some kind of the characters. By the way, guys, varchar is variable character length kind of the data item. uh, there is one advantage, you might all knowing that rather than using the character, if I'm using the varchar, if I'm not fully utilizing the appropriate construct, so obviously it is helping us to release that particular memory and you can make use of that. So making the things very simple. So just what I'm doing here is just let me observe this point. So at the moment I am saying this uh, char and as well as varchar kind of things. Suppose if I'm saying 200, here I am saying 200. Okay, I am using only 50 characters here. So entire memory will be dedicated to that. Though you are not using, the memory won't be released for the other variables. But as we are talking about the optimization, that's what I said. Optimization need not be always higher ends, maybe in the triggers, stored procedures. We are going to see, however, but whatever the things in our hand, definitely we have to scope these kind of aspects also. If you see the variable character kind of thing, if I'm absolutely using 50 and these 150 characters can be dedicated to some other variable. Okay, that is the advantage of using this varchar compared with the character, because we don't know a particular table. if I'm having some 5 or 6 columns or attributes, and each and every column is wasting some 100 units of the appropriate memory, and see here 6 into 100, 600 units. So like that, if I'm working for 10 tables in my project, obviously it becomes 10 into the kind of 150 or 200 units. So it is itself, it consumes heavy memories. So the thing is here, guys, your mindset should be like this while creating the table, while working with the table. Your mindset is like, how can I optimize the table in a better way? And in what way I can make use of the resources in the efficient format. So, we start from that particular point, and we'll go to have the discussion of those kind of the conventions. Okay, so nothing like that. Okay, only we can apply the appropriate optimizations for the higher codes or higher implementation. Not exactly, friends. In fact, if you are habituated to apply the best practices and optimizations for the small things in the sense, that's what I have given the task to DDL, DML and TCL, how we are making as the best practices. Maybe after 3:30 I will give time to our friends so that they can also explain what they have observed, and they can also add some more points related to our understanding, right? Okay, so with that, if you observe the kind of the key we are talking about. Okay, total we are having employee ID, first name, last name, gender and department in this particular table, along with the type of the data. So employee ID generally integer, maybe sometimes, especially in our case, we are using I also. I5262, I5363, like that we are using some ID. In that case, I should not use the integer. The analogy is very simple. Suppose if I'm using the mixed kind of the letters, always it is you need to verify those particular letters. If they are mixed, then I should go with the varchar. Whereas if I'm very sure that I'm only using the integer kind of the data, okay, then I can directly use the int. And moreover, if you observe this null kind of thing, friends, actually, so null is playing a vital role in our understanding. Like, let me scope this particular point in this way. Uh, if you are referencing this particular null and as well as the not null kind of the orientation, a little interesting point here. So suppose if I'm making use of the corresponding attributes, attribute 1, attribute 2, and as well as attribute 3, and maybe attribute 1 is allowing null, it is not allowing null, and again it is allowing null actually. So it is also allowing null. Now observe here, guys, I want to compute some kind of the like, so maybe I'm giving some sal to you, and I am recommending some kind of the incentive to our friend Praveen and Srinidhi, because they have outperformed in the project actually. So I recommend some kind of the incentive, maybe in the form of the Amazon voucher or Sodexo pass or whichever friends. Maybe I want to recognize their capability. A salary equal to incentive into some kind of the salary plus salary. Assume that this is the computing required. So final salary for Srinidhi and Praveen is distinct when compared with their previous salary. Assume that. Now with this point, what I'm doing is assume that this particular thing is the salary, and I want to compute this is the modified salary, at least for this month. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is, guys, if I am substituting this particular salary, the intensive column. So whatever the incentive we are offering, maybe for only 2 guys, I am recommending the incentive. For all the other guys, the incentive is null. So with this thing, I am about to calculate this current salary where incentive is null for the other guys, and this particular salary plus existing one. So if you add or if you multiply anything with the null, then the final result is also null, friends. There is a analogy to understand this particular null aspect, because at the moment I am performing some activity, and all attributes may not have the not null kind of thing. So in that particular case, if null is there, and how do I handle that situation? I'll give some case on that, but I'm slowly introducing the aspects. Okay, how we can understand this particular scenario and how we are going to scope these kind of the aspects. Okay, that is the reason. Now, once you come up with these kind of the null values, the point here is how we are making use of these kind of the null values for the sake of proper exhibition. So now if you observe this example, uh, this is null is not supporting actually. That means as I said, as a starting point, we start with the keys understanding of SQL. So if you are talking about this particular key, I am not yet introduced this primary key to you, but I am assuming some knowledge is there on primary key related to your understanding. And the default value is nothing but friends. There is one constraint actually, like the default nature. Suppose if I am not giving any value, okay, if I don't want to give any value, and I want MySQL to handle that particular convention automatically. So for example, while entering the first name and last name, suppose HR is not got the last name information. Maybe you have not filled that particular column. Then in that particular last name, you should fill some null value. And even though in case of the department, maybe for some members, we have not yet decided. Maybe after completion of the course, we want to decide, okay, based on your capabilities and based on your submission of the corresponding assignments and projects, we want to decide you guys to be part of big data or part of some data engineering or part of some data science. So initially we are not allocated any kind of thing. So in those kind of the situations, we can prefer the default aspects. So this description should be very clear with us, because while creating the table, just we need to have these kind of the descriptions, and the description is mandatory help. Okay. Now, if I am asking you guys how a candidate key can be defined, you can use the chat window, because while beginning the session, I have opened the floor for you. Maybe you can add your thoughts to the chat so that we can have a discussion on that. Okay. Now let me introduce what do you mean by this candidate key. Because as I said, understanding of the keys leading to the design of the database, and which in turn maybe tomorrow I am going to introduce the concept of the normalization, and we are going to work out some of the normal forms and how we are going to handle the corresponding table in the normal form. If that is not in the normal form, how do we convert that, like that? Okay. So now friends, here the candidate key is nothing but the minimal set of the attributes that can uniquely identify a tuple is known as a candidate key. Okay, so now if you observe this point, friends, here, so according to the definition, so just let me get the information to you, what exactly the candidate key is. Okay, so uh, let me paste this thing, friends, so that it is easy for you to understand. Yeah, so now you see here, so just I'm opening the avenue of what exactly the candidate key is. So if you observe this point, guys, candidate key, the minimal set of the attribute that uniquely identify a tuple. Okay, so suppose a tuple is there. Tuple is nothing but again a record. Okay, which is the combination of attribute 1, attribute 2, and attribute 3. Okay, now this particular tuple I should able to uniquely identify. I should able to uniquely identify. Now let us go back to our this thing. I mean, whatever the cluster we are having. This in this table, if I am asking you, what is the possible field so as to represent a particular data as a candidate key, because we are claiming that candidate key should identify, okay, the appropriate tuple uniquely. Okay, the definition is bit bit near to the primary key, friends, actually. because one important point, primary key is one of the key from the candidate key. Maybe if I'm saying here, if you see friends, employee ID is not repeating, so that I can easily pick up any of the record with five. If I am saying 5, okay, Anurag Mohanty, and is a male and he is from the IT department. So I can easily pick up these particular information by saying the employee ID. And similarly, if you observe friends here, we have not repeated any names also. So maybe Priyanka, I can say as a first name also I can make use as a candidate key because it is also allowing us to uniquely identify the record. So, but the department, it's not allowing us to uniquely identify the record because there are certain repetitions. If I'm saying IT, I'm getting employee ID 1 and employee ID 2 and employee ID 5 and employee ID 7. Definitely that is not the candidate key. Similarly, the gender, if I'm saying the gender also friends here, male if I'm saying, so Pranaya and as well as male Anurag and as well as Rajesh. Like that we're having some repetitions. And similarly female also some kind of the repetitions. We cannot take this particular gender as uh, a candidate key kind of aspect. Okay, so the point here is candidate key is which is allowing us the minimal set of the attributes. One more point friends, I am saying that a minimal set. Okay, why we are using the term minimal set friends? Can someone help me in the chat window? What is the reason behind saying that why we need to specify these things as a minimal set? Because uh, suppose if I am saying student ID, name, course, CGPA. Okay, like that we're having a relation. Now what we're doing, okay, so we want to identify the candidate key. Now I'm saying that the minimal set of the attributes. Okay, so STUID, name, course, CGPA, all these are the attributes. Now we need to give, okay, the student ID and as well as the course because there is a possibility of repeating the names in a session. And CGPA also maybe same multiple members maybe would have got the same kind of the CGPA. So why we are using the term minimal is it's very simple. We need to pick up the appropriate attributes in such a way that those attributes should identify, okay, should identify the entire tuple as a unique record. So that is what how you can recognize the kind of the candidate key. Now, if I am asking you, yeah, someone has given the answer related to the candidate key. Let me see who is that guy. Oh, very good. Many members has given friends actually. Oh, very good, very good, very good. Excellent. Yeah, this is the thing I expected actually. So thanks. Thank you very much. So Srinidhi says the minimal set of attributes that can uniquely identify a tuple is known as a candidate key. Exactly. So candidate key is a single key or a group of multiple keys that uniquely identify rows. Very good. And Sahu says a key or set of keys that can identify the records uniquely. In this scenario, employee ID actually. And Wasim says a group of multiple keys who should be unique in each row. And Sahid says the candidate key is a set of one or more fields. Okay, so definitely you can take up one or more keys as a candidate key, but the criteria here is it should identify the appropriate tuples in a unique manner. So a candidate key is a specific type of key that can identify each unique record independently, uh, as Janishwar says. And Vedant says group of keys can be a potential primary key. A primary key, of course, part of the candidate key, friend, because a primary key is having certain constraints. I'll introduce that thing in a while. Okay, so a single key or a group of multiple keys. Harish has given a different context. I always appreciate that. Okay, so very good. Now at the moment we are saying the candidate key, we are having some conclusion, minimal set of the thing. But whereas if I am talking about a primary key, friends, a primary key. So just what it says is basically uh, if I am referencing a primary key, okay, it is a part of the candidate key. Definitely there can be more than one candidate key in a relation, maybe based on the uniqueness of the data. And if I am talking about the primary key, there can be more than one candidate key in a relation, out of which one can be chosen as a primary key. Okay, so in the example, you can take that employee first name, employee ID, okay, as the candidate keys because it is serving the purpose. But at the moment I am talking about the primary key, definitely I should make sure that there is some important point with this. So it should satisfy the uniqueness as that of the candidate key, and it should portray the not null also. Okay, primary key is a combination of unique and as well as the not null. So candidate key, now in that case, friends, candidate key may contain the null values also. Suppose some point in time, we may not have the phone number, we may not have the email ID, but still we can take that as a candidate key. Our interest is to uniquely identify the records, the tuples, but we are not focusing on the null values. Whereas in primary key, it is a stronger version actually. You can pick up the appropriate candidate key from the set of the candidate keys. You can pick up one key as a primary key, and it is making sure that just unique and as well as the not null kind of aspects are both satisfied by the primary key orientation. Okay, so with that, so just we can make use of the convention. So primary key is basically uh, satisfying the condition of the uniqueness and as well as the not null. And at the same time, there is a chance of okay, there is a chance of observing the primary key from the set of candidate key. You can take up either of the candidate key, and this particular primary key is only one per the table, friends. You have to be very cautious because at the moment I am saying the candidate key, that particular candidate key may be multiple in a table, one or two or three or something like that. Whereas if I am talking about the primary key, it should be one, and more than one primary key is not allowed. But of course, there is a concept called composite key. Okay, which is also very frequently used kind of the term, friends. The composite key is something like where I want to use multiple attributes, attribute one and attribute two as a key. Okay, so this is known as a composite key. Okay, this is known as a composite key. So composite key is nothing but the combination of the uh, attributes, and these attributes are forming a key kind of aspect that to the primary key. Okay, so such kind of the combination is known as a composite key. Okay, so with this we can talk about the super key also. Okay, what do you mean by super key, friends? Why I am introducing these terms is all these particular terms are very much helpful in the optimization, especially in the normalization, especially in the database design, and especially in the normal form understanding. So that as a prerequisite, I'm introducing these terms, friends. Okay. Now, if I'm asking you, what do you mean by a super key? How do you refer that? Okay, you can use the chat window. Meantime, you also give a try, friends. The set of attributes which are uniquely identifying the tuples in a relation. So we are preserving uniqueness everywhere, friends. We are preserving uniqueness everywhere because the reason is database must be consistent and it must be integrated every time. So we are preserving that particular point. And the super key, for example, if I am taking student number and student name, uh, I can say a group of single or multiple keys. Okay, so Again, I can say student number and phone number is a super key because those particular things can able to get the records in the unique manner. Okay. And now I'm asking you one question. Uh, can a super key is a candidate key?
Candidate key is a subset of the super key.
Yes. Okay. Now super means what, friends? Superset. Typical maths, na? Subset. That is what I said. Your basics, always your fundamentals. Before giving any answer, stick to your fundamentals, nothing else. Though you are not able to understand what I am teaching, but just to apply some logic based on your uh, knowledge of maths or knowledge of databases, or if the people are from different background, absolutely fine, no problem. The people are from the computer science background are more confused than the people from the other background, because other background people listen to me and they follow me. Because always the human tendency is like this, friends. We are going to map our learning with the existing knowledge. If any smoothness is there, if there is no conflict is there, no problem, you can learn. And I have studied that, but this guy is teaching this, there is a conflict, again you need to work out more. But whereas the people from mechanical or civil or ECE or triple A, they're having typical mindset. Okay, we have to listen carefully, and okay, they can see the things in a one-sided. Okay, but my strong feeling is for the computer science background people, you can explore more insights compared with others. Of course, if I'm asking Google who are the top 10 data scientists. Okay, so surprisingly in the area of data science, first four positions, friend, believe me, members are from civil, mechanical, and electronics background. Only these guys, not from the computer science. See how much hard work they would have put. So that to top data scientist is not that much easy. Maybe from the Facebook or Google or Amazon or whichever. Okay, whichever the company. Okay, so that means you should not feel I'm not background of CSC. Okay, the point here is how best you can work and in what way you are fetching your talents to implement the aspects. That is only the criteria. But one advantage with the CSC members is they are having some baseliner. So on top of that, they can build the empire. Okay, so all these kind of things they can build their entire aspects, right? Okay, so with this, just we are clear with the candidate key, primary key, super key, all these kind of the aspects. And one more point I want to highlight here. Suppose if I am referencing the super key and all these primary key kind of orientation, what do you mean by alternate key actually? Okay, so some of the aspects, suppose if I am taking employee ID and as well as project ID, employee name, email, like that I'm having some table, some relation. Now the possible uniquely identified columns are employee ID. With the project ID also I can able to get the data, and probably with the email also I can get the data. But I selected employee ID as the primary key because I don't want to tag my unique identification with the project ID for some reasons. Maybe I may be working on multiple projects. So in that particular case, I may not track my visibility in all the projects. Whereas email also, there is no repetition. So that is also used to uniquely identify. That means, friends, here, whichever the attributes I'm having, which are all having the capability of identifying the things in the unique manner. But my scope is to select the employee ID, and the leftover aspects are there now, project ID and email. These are all the alternate keys actually. Though they are having the capability of selecting the appropriate data uniquely, but still we are not scoping them for some reasons. We have selected one of the attribute out of this particular set as a primary key. So automatically this becomes the alternate key, which is also known as secondary key, which is also known as secondary key. Now what we'll do is, so let me introduce the creation of some kind of the table so that uh, so as to observe or so as to identify some kind of the operations on the MySQL, because the point here is whatever the learning you have done earlier. So just I want to portray those kind of the learnings. For this particular purpose, I am electing some of the operations through this particular MySQL. And I will take your help definitely, friends, because these particular things really help us to portray the advanced aspects like normalizations and all the stored procedures, functions and all. Okay, so let me create one typical table for you, and we'll use this particular table to implement some kind of the tasks. Okay, so for this particular purpose, let me share again our uh, uh, cluster. So with this particular cluster, we are going to run through. Let me clear the screen. Control L is used to clear the screen, friends. Okay, so MySQL. Now I'm having some kind of the statements for you. So just I can see here directly I can paste from the browser. So such a good thing. Okay. Now what I'm doing here is I'm having some requirement, friends, here. Like there is a collaborative project from UK audience and as well as the USA audience. And what we are doing is uh, I want to get some kind of the insights. I want to understand the status of the project. I mean to say the project already launched, and some members are participating in the project from UK, and some members are participating the project from USA. Now just I am running through. So just I am taking the employee ID with the data type integer, and which is the primary key basically. And as I said earlier, why we are using the varchar is if I am not completely utilizing this particular number of characters, no problem. Uh, Automatically MySQL releases that memory for the other variable, okay, dynamically. So now after creating this particular thing, there is a description actually. So describe, okay, just you can make use of this description. Okay, just now we have done with the kind of keys discussion. So employee ID obviously is a primary key, and first name, last name, gender and department. Except employee ID, all these kind of things are variable characters. Okay, and if you observe this particular description, as you clearly mention, I want to create this employee ID as the primary key. So it is very important, friends, to understand what is the property of the primary key is it is providing us the uniqueness and as well as the not null. So if you if you are trying to insert any data, there is no chance of inserting the null value. That's what it is saying. Null is not supported in this particular employee ID. Okay, it is not supported. So that's what it is saying, that there is no scope for the null value. Now with this, just let us insert some of the records related to this particular thing. I'm having the data of you, Harish, Sahu, Sravanti, Wasim, all those members. I have created some kind of the records. So just let me take the records help. So just I want to insert simple. So right click and paste from the browser. So just you can make use of these things. Why I'm not giving a typing is, friend, these things already we have done. So just to make the things perfect. So just I am making use of the convention. Okay. So now observe here, guys. So what I'm doing here is I have taken the help of some different inserts, and the beauty of this particular MySQL is at a time I could able to run multiple inserts. So almost some 7 or 8 members I'm having maybe initially, and just I'm running this particular thing. And now what you can do is just you can select uh, star from. So employee UK1 data. Okay, I'm having Harish, Asrlochan, Sai, Wasim, Sahid, Bharati. Like that, I'm having some members, okay, within the UK data. So if you observe this employee ID, we are populating individually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like that, because we claimed that our employee ID is a primary key. That is the reason why we are making use of this particular insertion related to this uniqueness and as well as the not null. And of course, especially in this particular table, though we are having the provision of allowing the null values, but fortunately we got all the information from the HR, so that in the project allocation, what we are doing is we are populating all these particular names, maybe first name, last name, and gender, as well as department also. Okay, just the manager is also eager to take you in the project, and immediately we are having the linkage of that particular department also after hiring. Now, maybe sometimes the members may not be allocated and they're on bench or something like that. But still, in our case, for the UK project, maybe Tesco or some client is there for us, and we are able to run the project, or we are able to launch the project from next a week or 10 days. So all the resources are ready to cater the needs of that client. Okay, so this is the scenario, friends. And now let me take you one more table, because I want to create some kind of the simple case study. Let me know how many of you are going to track what I am doing, because first I want to show the application, and then I want to discuss about the concept behind that. There are two approaches. First, I can take the concept, and thereafter I can give the example. Reverse engineering is first we are let us work with some kind of the concept, and then we'll discuss about the corresponding concept behind the execution. So this time, as I said, some other members are allocated from Indium, which are ready to work on um, the basis of the USA timing. Okay, so we have taken the consent of those members, and just if you are referencing these kind of the notation, so uh, just I am making use of the appropriate another table. Okay, so which is agreed upon while recruitment. We have said okay, you need to work on USA project, and we are recruiting you for that particular purpose. So if you observe, guys, for the USA project also a similar kind of the architecture we are following. Uh, this particular architecture, which is the employee ID as usual, because the clients, the same client operating in UK and as well as the USA, and we need to supply, we need to give some kind of the a resource to those particular projects. Of course, the project is same, but they are operating distributedly in USA and UK, and we are operating from India. So for that particular purpose, we have created this employee ID, first name, last name, gender, and department. Okay. Now, similar to this kind of the convention, just we are working on the kind of the description. So just we are making use of this table. Same how we are observing the UK kind of thing. There are certain cases where primary key related to the employee ID and all other kind of things. Just we have declared as a varchar to varchar kind of things. Okay, first name, last name, gender, and department. Now, as usual, we have to populate the data. So one biggest advantage with this cluster is I can straight away launch all these particular records. So this time also, just I'm having some set of statements with me, and I am about to run all those particular statements simultaneously. Okay, so just I ran this, and now what I'm doing here is uh, um, so select, okay, star from. Now I have recruited all the members to cater the needs of the project, and they are ready to work in the context of the USA. So here I have taken some of the members. And let me pick up the members from the UK also. So you can observe what I have done. Okay, so James Patrick altogether is a new member who is not appeared in the UK project, and Sahu is there in both USA and UK. Maybe he is a critical resource. That's what we are assigning him as a kind of point of contact or team lead kind of aspect, where that guy is looking the operations of both USA and UK. Sarah is altogether a different member who not appeared in the UK. But again, Wasim also is also very important resource for us to monitor the operations of the SQL kind of background. So he's taking care about both the operations support kind of thing from both USA and UK. Shushanta uh, also only appearing in the USA, and Mahesh also only appearing in USA. Hina also appearing in both USA and UK. So that means we have taken the uh, records in such a way that some of the members are exclusively working for the USA and some of the members are working for the UK. And there are certain cases where we are making use of convention in such a way that if you feel okay in the client interaction or in the evaluation process also, client is very much satisfied with this Sahu and Wasim. So they want to keep these key persons to monitor the activities of both USA and UK, because always knowledge pays. Okay, so in that respect, just these guys were placed in both the projects. I mean, project is same, but they need to observe the corresponding activities or flow of the project, which is from both the kind of locations, maybe US and UK. Though project is common, but we are operating from various countries. Okay, this is the context, friend. Now let me know uh, what is the possibility. Okay, so suppose I'm asking you guys uh, uh, at the outset, manager want to know that the members who are working in both USA and UK representation, because you know the point here is we need to give little importance to those guys, because these guys are sweating like anything and they are working for us. Okay, on additional timings and in the abnormal paces also, and even they committed us to at least until completion of the project they are available on over the call or Teams meet in the weekends also. So that is the context actually. Now at the moment, friends, if I am asking you, okay, this is the availability I'm having. Now, can you frame few questions where we can get the meaningful data? Because I have given the context of the scenario. Now you need to frame some questions. Guys, you need to frame some questions. How can I meaningfully project this particular data to the management or to the client? Okay, so just like I'm typing here, I am pausing. Okay, so the question here is from the USA and UK table, or I would say relations, the possible profiling, yeah, we can draw. Friends, very important, because see, always we may not get the appropriate analytics or appropriate questions from the client. It is you to frame the questions and it is you to come up with some kind of the strategy, and it is you to showcase your talent. Okay. See, one proverb I have read, it caught my attention actually. Rather than answering, just you can observe the intellect of a person through his questioning. If I am asking a question, everybody more or less can give the answers, or some people give the unique answer. That's fine. But the way after narrating something, and if you are and if you are framing the question, so if I'm giving the scenario and if I'm talking something based on your questions, if I'm assigning something, if I'm assigning DDL optimizations, Harish may ask, why Uma sir, you have given this DDL, why can't you have given the DDL? Questioning is important, friends. Okay, now let us see how many of you are pulling up some kind of interesting patterns uh, with this particular kind of the scenario. Okay, I'll take a pause here. Now it is 3:12 and will 3 minutes. I'll wait for you guys. Just I'm giving some pause to you. Think through and frame the questions, right? Thank you. So let me see. Many questions I got. Okay, so that is the spirit, friends, actually. Okay, so I appreciate you all members, Sahu, Vedant, Shahid, Praveen, Harish, Karthikeyan, Vedant. Okay, and Shahid come up with one more question. Wasim also, Srinidhi, key employees, right? Karthikeyan, very good. Again, Shahid has put multiple questions. Janeshwar, excellent friend, because the day one I got definitely in line with you, and the set of people, if destination is ready to take, source can give anything, because we have to be ready to take. Again, Karthikeyan, Bharati, excellent. Praveen, okay, nice friend. That's what my intention is. All 12 should resemble Dr. Uma. Okay, then only I am getting success. That's it. It's not one member success or one people. Or if Praveen is excellently doing, it's not my capability. Praveen capability, that is. If Wasim is doing excellent, that is his capability. If all members from the team, at least from my team, all if you are doing well, then that is my capability. You know, your capability and my capability. So that's what, as much as possible, we'll do our hard work, and we'll work for the project in the effective way, so that in a way we can raise, right? Okay. Now, with that, I am so happy and excited. Okay, let me ask you uh, this particular thing. So many questions I have seen, and definitely offline I will see those kind of the questions. But before that, let me execute some of the aspects, so that uh, I will run some kind of the aspects with in front of you, and you need to give me the understanding what I'm doing, because rather than okay, this I am executing, nothing uh, challenging. Okay, but whereas if I'm saying something, okay, I'm doing this a kind of the narration, and what exactly uh, this particular union is doing, or what exactly this uh, other kind of the constraints are doing. Okay, so just let us run this. I'm executing some kind of the query in front of you. uh, just I am clearing the screen with Control L, and I am taking some kind of the query. Okay, I'm giving the space to you, and let us run this. Okay, maybe you are having in your question set, you can map this thing. I have done some kind of the aspect, friends, here. What I have done is, don't worry, friends, every query which I am running in the session will be shared by you, shared with you in the Slack mode. And in addition to that, I will be sharing these things through the drive also to your mail IDs. For me, if anyone, maybe Harish or Praveen, can you create a group mail or something like that, if possible? Otherwise, you can give me the a kind of notebook, okay, where all the mails were nicely typed. Okay, if you could do for me, that is really helping me to share the contents on a daily basis. Okay, without missing anything. Now, if you observe these things, friends, it seems we are getting the information from both USA and UK. Maybe sometimes, our HR people or management asked us, okay, Uma, can you help me to understand from the newly recruited members who are all working for USA and UK project? Okay, so in that particular case, a simple narration. First, we have to select the information about first name, last name, gender, department from the employees who are working for UK timing. And because our manager asked, okay, our CEO asked to pick up the members who are from both UK and USA projects. So just what I have done is select first name, last name, gender, department from UK based employees and US based employees. So union is something like which is catering our purpose. Maybe I want to fill up the appropriate table in such a way that I want to get the members who are all working in both the USA and UK kind of the project. Maybe the single project, but we are operating from both the countries. So we want to keep them as a separate panel, maybe we want to offer them some special Amazon vouchers or something like that, because you guys are working more hard. Okay, so that definitely we have to recognize your hard work. Okay, for that particular purpose, we applied this kind of the union. Okay, and similarly guys, uh, if you are talking about the other kind of thing, where if I am making use of, okay, the other convention, maybe I can make use of the union all and union kind of the construct. There is always a distinction. So a union generally, what it does is, uh, if I am making use of, okay, if I am saying some, let me show you this, that particular part also, what exactly the union all does, so that you can easily recognize, because after showing the outcome, you can easily see the distinction. See friends, here I got 11 rows actually, uh, while working with the union kind of the operation. Whereas in the union all, we got 3 more rows excess. Okay, so that means here if you cleanly observe, Harish, okay, so, and any Harish is there? No. And Ashrulochan Sahu appeared multiple times. That means duplicates. I mean USA and UK. This is one way where you can observe this guy in both the timings actually, USA and UK. Similarly, we are having some Wasim also. Wasim is in UK zoner and as well as the USA zoner. Okay, Wasim Akram is appearing in both aspects. Okay, so and one more guy we missed out actually. Who is that? Sarah, na? Yeah, yeah, Sarah. So Sarah is here, and as well as so somewhere. Okay,
No, sir,
so
it's Hina Sharma.
Hina Sharma. Oh, sorry, sorry. Okay, I am seeing a earlier table, but Union all, the last member, here Hina Sharma is there in USA timing and as well as the UK timing. Okay, so simple thing, friends, because see, you have portrayed some kind of the questions, and in case of the MySQL, especially guys. There are certain aspects in the at last I will ask you, okay, what is this union and what is this union all, because I have not named any topic to this, just we are taking some scenario and we have worked out some kind of the descriptions, and based on that particular descriptions we are going to talk related to these kind of the aspects. And I will ask you, so what exactly the distinction between union and union all, because I have shown you some kind of distinctions, because in union we got 11 records and union all we got some 14 records. Okay, so one more thing, whereas if I am referencing one more point, okay, suppose if I want to get the first name from the employees who are working in USA and as well as who are from UK. Okay, so just let me run this particular query, and you can use the chat window, guys. So where you can give me the convention of, so what exactly this query does, because this is a little different when compared with the earlier direct narration. Okay, so just observe here, guys. What is your thought process on this? So union, we are getting the non-repeated records from both the tables. Union all, including the duplicate records also we are taking. But if you are thinking in the lines of union all, one more operator is there actually in the typical PLSQL of Oracle. That's what I said in the morning session also. All the whatever the functionalities or whatever the aspects provided by Oracle PLSQL, SQL Server kind of thing may not supported by MySQL, but there are certain alternatives, friends, actually. So if you could keenly observe, let me surf through the appropriate table information uh, from UK, and the table information from USA. Okay, so just have a look on this. USA members, 7 members, UK members also 7 members, but we got some specifications. How can you see this point actually? We got Harish. Okay, and if you observe the uh, implementation of this particular query, I'm getting the information from employee UK, and what I'm doing here is where first name not in, select first name from employee USA 1. Something is striking to your mind, guys. Maybe a relational model, or else just give me the outcome here. Okay, what exactly? Because by seeing this particular implementation, okay, so how do you refer? Okay, this particular point I am highlighting. Uh, what is the equivalent word for this particular implementation? You can use the chat window. I'll wait, no problem.
Difference.
Difference is one thing, or except is there na? Except or difference, because what we are doing here is the members, okay, the members who are first name column only we are taking. We are using the not in operator, which returns the employees from the first employee UK table that are not present in the employee USA table. Okay, sometimes this one really helps us who are working for only employee UK. Okay, because let me take this way. Uh, the client, because the client is more than happy with our services, and for any project, okay, maybe later point of time, for any project we are launching on these technologies, I want these set of the people. Okay, so now I want to pick up because earlier I am having both USA and UK employees working for the same project. But the manager who is taking care about the UK updates, okay, he is very much satisfied with uh, the way they render their services in UK location. So they have given open offer, like for any project, I want to continue with the set of the people who are really done well in the project. Okay, so uh, if you are talking about these kind of the conventions, and they offered some kind of I mean next coming projects, I want to go with these kind of guys with more incentives. Okay, for that particular purpose we can have this thing. Similarly, if I want to get the USA kind of thing, just you need to alter the statement in a simplest way, where you can come up with the functionality, like so where you can process the appropriate information without any problem. Okay, that is one more thing. Now I want to give you one more convention, guys, here. Just have a look on this. This is a little bit extended version. This particular extended version helps us to understand some other aspect. So don't be in a hurry to give the answer. So just you understand the aspect and then only you can reply back. Okay, so just I am making use of the convention. Okay, one long query, don't worry, definitely it is really helps us. Okay, so to understand the aspects, so just I am hitting enter. Yes, so something like that. I'm putting some kind of the effort, whereas I'm giving this also. Okay, so I need to copy again. So what I will do is just let me go through the document and then I'll run the query once again. There is some kind of the narration here. Let me see how many intelligent chaps are there in the call. It's not copying. 1 minute, guys. Ah, oh, the cluster got. Oh yeah. Okay. Just to observe that, guys. What is the point you observed here, maybe this one, this result and this result. Same or distinct? Okay, see, that is the beauty, friends, actually. While working with uh, the optimization kind of things, you can perform same activity with multiple querying. Okay, so what we are doing is someone from in the call said, okay, difference. Someone has given the accept. Okay, so like that. But ultimately, what we have picked up is the records or the appropriate data items which are from the first table and which are not from the second table I want. For that particular purpose, we have elected some nice narration. Okay, so this particular query initially, what it does is we are selecting the first name from the employee USA and we are applying some condition where this particular first name is not in. Actually, not in is a negative condition. So in is helpful so as to map the appropriate information. Suppose in, not in, okay, like these are all the operators which greatly helps us to pick up some kind of the data. Now at the moment I am talking this, but finally what I am doing is I want to get the employee data from UK, but in the condition again I am writing one more query, friends, actually. So that means I want to preserve the information of employee UK1, but where I should not get the information from employee USA1. Okay, so this is one condition, one kind of implementation mechanism. Now have a look on this, just to focus on this, friends, just to focus on that. And or else you can use the chat window, which are all the concepts we have used in this particular thing. You can come up with that narration, because however I am dedicating one session for the, not one session, at least 1 hour talk on joins and all. There will take a nice example and we'll come up with that. But at least to gain the potentiality uh, of the first day. So just I have given this particular example, which is very handy. And now we are portraying these kind of the aspects. Okay, so just you try to identify uh, how we are making use of this particular convention. I'll give you the break, friends, just 5 minutes. Once one more aspect is there, okay, just we'll have a break. Definitely, I know that with the break we can gain the potentiality. Don't worry about that. So just after completion of this topic, just we'll have a break, and as usual, after the break, the last hour we'll dedicate to our guys. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes, they can give a talk related to whatever the best practices or optimizations we have done. Okay, so the guys can recharge in the break also, so that they can run through or go through their findings, so that they can project the appropriate aspects in a better way. Okay, now I'm taking pause here. I'll wait for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. By 15:38, I'll take up all the appropriate chat window information. My question is simple. What is your understanding from the query, and which are all the constructs we have used in the query? Okay, so let me type that. So what is your observation on the query? This is the first one. Second one is which are all the constructs have used the implementation. Okay. So have a look on this, guys. Already 36. By 39, I will be back. Okay, right. So very good. So Sahu says employees working in employee UK but not working in USA, right? UK one but not working in USA project, showing only people first name of UK excluding common. Praveen says so employees who is working in UK project alone and they should not be in US project. So employee, okay. Ah. But my question is, guys, uh, which are all the constructs we have used? Because the point here is maybe yeah, your observation is absolutely fine. That answers the first question. Maybe if I am putting you the second question, because here the point, guys, why I am stressing on the second question is uh, just by seeing the query, you should be able to observe that which are all the constructs do I need to elect. Because as a developer, as a software engineer, your capability is not understanding what exactly that is. Your capability should be for that construct. Can we do any optimization? Can we achieve any simpler logic? Can we apply any other construct which is better than the existing implementation? So we are striving for that aspect. So in that case, I got two answers actually. Sahu always is a member who really uh, showcase his talents. So I appreciate for that. And Praveen is also trying very well so as to give the answers. Okay. So Sahu says first query is a Cartesian join or cross join. However, we are selecting all the records from both the tables and showing the output of employees with the null values in the employee ID in the joined table. Kind of values except inner join. Okay. In the second query, we are writing subqueries. Readable, reading wise, it is efficient, but it is going to give the duplicate values in the join. Cartesian is there, na, obviously. Subqueries are little show in comparison of little slow in comparison with the joins. Definitely. But joins also, friend, there are some pitfalls. I am opening some kind of the questions for you. Like, uh, whatever the joins or whatever the subqueries we are using, there are all you need to observe in different dimension actually. So there are certain terminologies where I can make use to work with these kind of constructs, right? Okay. Now, if you are referencing the Praveen's answer, joining the table with similar column, of course, joins demand that alias name actually. Very good, Praveen. That is the point actually I expected because alias name sometimes, in MySQL, while working with the stored procedures and stored functions, without alias name, it won't recognize the querying friends. Okay, that is a good point actually. So these two guys and still some members are typing. I don't know whether they are chatting themselves or with me. I don't understand, but I can see Shahid is typing and other members. Okay, let us wait. Okay, so just with that, okay, if you see the join kind of the thing, we are having the left join, right join, full join, okay, inner join, like that we're having different categories. And moreover, friends, alias name helps us to in many aspects actually. So not only in this SQL, advanced SQL, Spark SQL kind of things, but uh, some other hive or something like that. Sometimes, the naming conventions are very large because at the moment I am talking about the product sales data, like 10 or 20, 10 to 15 characters would be there. Every time typing and the typo will appear and all. So just we can manage with the alias kind of thing. So in that respect, just we are making use of this alias as is for the alias kind of thing. And sometimes, in other programming languages, there is a clause, either you can use the as or sometimes they provide the alias kind of thing, alias itself. Okay. So here T1 related to employee UK1 and T2 refers to employee USA. And here we are equating. So assignment, we are just equality kind of thing. Both were equal, and the last name also and gender also. and department also. That means friends, we are not taking any chance actually here. So every time what we are doing is uh, first name must be same as that of the first name of the USA and UK. Similarly, we are talking about last name, gender and department. Perfect equality, proper checking of whether they are equal or not. Now the last thing is T2 dot employee ID is null. So here, just if you are making use of this thing, it is obviously not touch basing on the this T2 actually. So if you observe the USA, uh, the members James, Asurlochan, Sara, Wasim, Shushanta, Mahesh, Hina. Okay, so just you can observe that nothing is there from this US. This is one kind of the logic where you can exclude some of the members. That's what I intentionally catered and compiled this particular query. So of course, these two guys, Praveen and these two guys could able to give the answer. Oh, after that also I got some Shahid is typing typed some employees UK and left join. Okay, comma data for using USA table. Okay, null. Yeah. And Harish says Harish is little slow in the afternoon session. I don't know why. Morning he is very good. Alias name given to T1 and T2. Left join to collect all the data. Right. Wasim, as usual, has come up with a nice narration. Given in the first query, matching all columns with both the tables, while in the second query, using complete table and null to extract not matching data. Of course, the conventions are different. Maybe if I am asking you guys to write the query for the same kind of thing, you may elect for the other kind of the way. Okay, there is no rule. Okay, you have to use the same kind of the convention to perform the activity. Okay, now one more point, friends. Here, uh, suppose if I am referencing one more aspect, okay, which is similar to the earlier convention, where I want to perform some kind of the activity rather than not and all. So this time, one more functionality I am taking. So let us see how many of you are able to give the answer for this. So, and we have executed one more thing now here, not in. Let me take that point. Oh, okay. Let me come up with the same old thing because the typo kind of aspects are there from the cluster directly. It is allowing, but special characters we need to take care. Uh, browser. Just I am taking this thing. Yes. Now observe here, guys. So actually, two kind of the conventions. Let me ah, use this thing. Uh, 247 1356. Something is hitting to our mind actually. So in this particular aspect, we are using some kind of the narration, like select star from employee UK1, where first name in operator is a positive approach. Whereas earlier we have used some same query, employee UK1, all the members, where first name not in actually earlier. So not in gives 1356 records, in gives okay 247 records. Hmm. So yes, now I got some information. Okay, so just where you can easily observe in the in kind of thing, 247 are repeated actually. So whatever the data I'm having, so here Astrologian, here Astrologian, 4 Wasim Akram and Wasim Akram, 7 Hina and as well as Hina. Okay, so employee UK and employee US. With little change in the narration, okay, so just I could able to get the repetitions. So that's what the beauty of this MySQL or any kind of the SQL kind of thing is, friends. With the narrow, okay, not in has given some kind of the opened some kind of the avenue, whereas in has given some kind of the opportunity so as to study about the kind of things. Okay, so with that, just I'm taking a pause. Okay, so again we'll be back to our OneNote. So let me open that thing. So okay, so now what we're doing is here, just let us sum up all the things. Okay, before having the break. So the very first point we have started with is the concept of the keys. So within that particular case, we have come across with the candidate keys and as well as some kind of the primary key. And then we have talked about some super key aspects, friends. And thereafter, alternate or secondary key. So these things really helps us to understand uh, the uniqueness and all these kind of things. And then we have seen some null narration and as well as the not null kind of the things. And third scenario, actually the scenario is like this. So we are having two tables, friends. First table is the persons who are working for USA and the persons who are working for UK1 project. We named that project name as USA1, UK1. Maybe like that we are having multiple projects, USA2, USA3 like that. Okay. For that reason, we have taken these things. Now, apart from these kind of the conventions, we worked on the notion of, okay, so the union and as well as a union all and then in some kind of not in and thereafter working with alias and some kind of the left join like that we have seen. Okay, so and once we are out of break, so after the break just will launch the tasks. Okay, again I am pasting that